How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. One thing I hate more than anything on this planet is iPad kids. They're so annoying, okay? And I work like in a restaurant, so I actually see parents bring their kids in quite a lot, and their kids are like, you know, and the one thing they do to make their kids calm down is give them an iPad. They don't even know what they're doing to their kids. They're brainwashing their kids. You know what I had when I was a kid? I didn't have an iPad. I couldn't get anything until I was like 9 or 10. I had a freaking Game Boy Advance. That's the best thing I had. But now these kids can watch corn at a finger's whim? This is unfair. The playing field isn't leveled. Basically, I'm just reacting to a video on iPad kids. It's pretty funny. There's a lot of dialogue. We talk a lot. The stream reacts a lot. It's really funny. If you guys want to catch me live, go follow my Twitch. Links in description. If you guys want to know when I go live, go join the Discord. Also, links in the description. If you guys want to see clips like this, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And I love you guys. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace. I want to start with the tragedy of iPad kids. You know, there's one thing that pisses me off, chat, and it's freaking iPad kids. I don't know about you guys. I work, okay? I actually have a job. I'm assuming most of you guys are in school, right? I work, and so I work at a restaurant, right? And every single time I see parents give their kid an iPad in the restaurant, like, do you not understand what you're doing to their brains, bro? Like, you're literally making them sped. Like, they're literally sped. Like, iPad kids are the least behaved kids ever, bro. Yes, sir, I heard that Riot YouTuber also uploaded as well. Hey, Riot uploaded? Happy Hanukkah? Hey, happy Hanukkah, bro. Happy Hanukkah. But yeah, iPad kids piss me off, bro. They piss me off. Like, they have no manners. They have no attention span. And they're just sped. iPad kids are sad to see. I know, bro. And I'm happy, like, our generation has learned our lesson. And, like, hopefully, I hope you guys, if and when you guys have kids, you don't make them be an iPad kid. Now, you know, you should probably let them be on some sort of device to a certain extent, because that's just the way technology is going, and you need them to, you know, be, you know, in the loop of technology. But 24/7 in front of a screen, no attention span, that shit pisses me off. They're so not well behaved, bro. Sunny V2 doc soon. That's essentially what this is. Riot fell off. I don't know. Riot's kind of him, bro. Riot's him, Drew. Riot's him. I heard that Riot guy, that Drew guy, and that Monokaga guy, if they keep collabing, bro, they're going to get hella big. Anyways, iPad kids piss me off. I want to watch this video, bro. The tragedy of iPad kids. I'm going to leave a like on it because I already know this is going to be a dub-ass video. Oh, my gosh. I hate iPad. But the passion, bro. They're so annoying. They're so annoying. And they're just like... Okay, let's just watch the video. Let's get into this. Let's get into this. Oh my god. What am I looking at? Oh, it's a... Oh my god. Am I playing Lethal Company? Not today, but we are going to play a game later. We are going to be playing games later. Oh my god. If I ever scream like that... Now, I'm not trying to say, you know, you should do this too, and I don't condone this, but if I scream like that at one of my parents, I get my shit... My dad would This is Twitch, so I have to be, you know, careful with what I say. And I'm not trying to promote anything. I'm just trying to say what would happen to me. If I screamed right like that in front of my parents, ass whooping. Ass whooping. Ass whooping, bro. iPad kids be watching Skibidi Toilet all day. Yeah, that's the kind of shit iPad kid, like, see, okay, I'm sorry to, like, rant, but, like, when you're a kid, right? Your brain, you have so much potential to imagine. Your imagination skills / levels are off the charts. Way more than when you're an adult. Like, now, I can't imagine because I'm, like, sped. Because once you have, like, an adult brain, like, your imagination just kind of, like, falls off. But when you're a kid, like, you just think of things you want to do. Like, you guys always see those reels or TikToks when you're playing. It's like, oh, back when I was younger and I was playing with Legos and the lore went crazy. Kids like this don't be having that, bro. Because their attention span, their imagination isn't as good because they're constantly getting fed with what's the word? They have no attention span. They're always just on the screen, not by themselves. Like, I'm gonna be honest. When I was a kid, right, and having nothing to do was boring. Right? It's boring when you can't play with anything. Your parents tell you to go do something. Like you're at your grandparents' house and there's nothing to do. But that is where the imagination comes in, bro. I remember playing Pokemon IRL with my brothers back in the day, bro. Like there was no Pokemon there, right? But we imagined it, okay? We imagined that there were Pokemon there. And my Pokemon Infernape got to a level 100, bro. Kids like this they don't got that shit no more, bro. They don't got that imagination no more. The downfall of Gen Alpha. Hey, do you guys know what generation you are? Do you guys know what generation you are? I'm a Gen Z, and a lot of yo Ace, what's good, bro? A lot of like older generations hate my generation, Gen Z, and I'm gonna be honest, Gen Z is kind of ass, bro. I hate being Gen Z because I'm lumped in with all the speds. But there are a lot of good, smart Gen Zers. And Gen Alpha is even worse because Gen Alpha is the iPad generation. At least with my generation, I didn't have iPads, okay? The best thing I had was a freaking Game Boy Advance, okay? And even that was hard to come by, bro. It took me years. It took me years. We need to play Lethal Company mod. I'm Ace. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Just today we're not playing Lethal Company. Today we're playing Fears of Fathom later. But yeah, dude. Like, I don't know. I think my generation is kind of screwed. And I hate being lumped in with the Gen Zers.
Provided you aren't one, the term iPad kid strikes fear and horror into the average person.
Ew.
The screaming, mind-numbing, zero attention span, booger-encrusted tablet, pregnant huggy-wuggy. Bro.
There's no way I just saw that, bro. Hold on, let me rewind this. Nah, rewind this.
Screaming, mind-numbing, zero attention span, booger-encrusted.
This is... I actually want to throw up, bro. I actually want to throw up. Ain't you pushing 40? I'm not 40, bro. How old do you think I am? How old do I look? I literally still have acne, bro. I'm a child. I literally still have acne, bro. This is gross, by the way. There's no way. There's literally crust of boogers over here. Oh my god, bro. We're so screwed. And these are the kind of... These kids are gonna rule the world one day, guys.
Pregnant huggy-wuggy. Bro. It's enough to make most of us in the early to middle part of Gen Z reel in shock as to how bad those younger than us have it. This time range from about 2000 to 2007 just barely avoided the bullet that was, quote, tablet.
Thank God. Thank God. I'm gonna be honest, I'm happy with the time I was born in. Yo, Monkage Hybrid, bro. What's up? What's up, Hybrid? I feel like there's a cutoff with Gen Z because there's like Gen Zs that didn't grow up with iPads and all the technology and the computers as we have it today, which was me. That's how I grew up. And then there's the Gen Z and Gen Alpha that grew up with iPads. I'm assuming some of you guys are Gen Z, but grew up with iPads type shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I guess I had an iPod Touch, but that was like when I was like 11, 12, 13. Like, these kids had like... and I didn't even have one. I didn't even have an iPod until I was like, 13, 14, something like that.
Time, but still got to experience the internet from a young age. Call us a hybrid between millennials using the internet in weird and squeaky clean ways, and Gen Alpha just drooling over bootleg Bangladeshi Paw Patrol animations. In this shorter video, I want to explore the tablet kid phenomenon, its causes, the current situation, and its potential future consequences. Namely, I want to talk about how the parents of Gen Alpha, millennials, partially fueled this nightmare, and how kids today are negatively affected by constant screen time, using a mix of anecdotal...
Like, what I don't understand is, like, you're gonna have a kid, right? If you have a kid, you have to, like, talk to your kid, you know? You can't just, like, have a kid and then be like, oh, here's a screen, you know? You can just grow up with the screen. Like, no, bro. Like, when I have a kid, I'm literally I'm gonna talk to the dude like he or she are full-grown adults. I'll be like, yeah, so, like, what do you want to do when you're older, bro? And, like, why do you want to do that? Oh, what's cool about that? Why do you think that's cool? Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Like, what do you think you came from? Like, how do you think everything? Like, I want to ask them questions, type shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't just put an iPad in front of them and just expect them to be 18 within like tomorrow, and you can just fuck off. If you have a kid, put time into the motherfucker, bro. It's pissing me off. It pisses me off. How are you though? I'm good, hybrid, bro. I flew a plane today. Bro was asking a 3-year-old where they came from. Hey, you just never know. Get the brain thinking. Exactly. No, exactly. Literally get the brain thinking. Have those chemicals go and flow through the brain, bro. Instead of just, you know, having the dopamine constantly refresh every single time they scroll through a TikTok, playing skibbity toilet videos. You know what I'm saying?
Total evidence and real science, as well as how that's affected the internet as a whole. Alright, let's take a dive into the tragic fall of Gen Alpha.
But really quickly, we have to do 2-Buck Troop roll call.
Huh? What am I watching? Okay, we're gonna skip that.
2-Buck Troop by using the link in the description.
Okay, what is this? That's cringe. How are you gonna shit on iPad kids and then have Roblox? What is this? Okay, we're
using
done.
the link in the description.
First of all, for those of you born without little cousins, who is Gen Alpha? Well, the dates vary a little bit.
Are you guys Gen Alpha? Let me know. Are you guys Gen Z or are you guys Gen Alpha?
But in general, kids born from about 2010 to the present are stated as being members of it. Similarly to Gen Z, whose generation was born around the growth of the internet, Millennials, whose generation was born around the adoption of modern computing and telecommunications, and Gen X, who was born alongside the American counterculture movement, Gen Alpha was born around the rapidly increasing adoption of the smartphone. Because, by the time this generation knew how to use multiplication tables, smartphones were basically ubiquitous. So Gen Alpha
You know, I'm gonna be honest. And you guys call me Sped. But, like, calculators are cool, bruh. I'm gonna be honest. I can obviously do simple math. But calculators are cool, you know? And now that we have AI, you can just ask AI, bro. I'm a baby boomer. Alright, chill, bro.
basically grew up alongside them. This means that they were completely fluent in how to use technology basically from birth, making them the first generation to be that way. Couple this with the fact that their parents, millennials, are just barely out of touch enough to not really grasp what their kids are doing, you have a disastrous situation. Fair warning though, to all of my lovely millennial fans out there, all 25 of you probably, this is not an all-encompassing statement.
Yes, I understand this is a blanket generalization. No, I do not believe every millennial is a child-abusing weird-ass dork. Most of that imagery is just in jest. However, this does not mean that this isn't a systematic issue of some kind. No, I agree. Okay, like I said, I work at like a restaurant, right? And I see the majority of the people, actually I wouldn't even say majority because that's actually a lie. It is a smaller group. I've seen parents come in with their kid. Like I saw, like one day I saw a dad come in with his kid, his son, and his kid was probably like 4 or 5, and no screen in sight. The dad was actually having a conversation with his kid, there for his kid, talking to his kid. And then I also see some scenarios where there's like the mom and the dad come in. There's 2 kids, they both have iPads, blasting whatever YouTube video they're playing in the middle of the restaurant, loud as hell. I can hear it from the other side of the restaurant. There's 2 different, like, obviously this is like, you can't generalize every single Gen Alpha to be a iPad kid, but they're out there, okay, and it's not good for their mental health.
I understand not all millennials are completely out of touch, but this is more so a general statement meant to describe a general problem. Millennials, born from about 1980 to 1995, were around and conscious for the birth of the internet, meaning many of them are very capable when it comes to using computers. However, they were pretty much around when the internet was a Wild West, where Smosh reigned supreme and companies had to
that was me. I was in that generation, bro, when Smosh reigned supreme.
Ever living shit out of the impressionability of kids. The same goes for Gen Z, being born around 1995 to 2010, where most of us, especially in the former half of the generation, grew up right before these corporations figured it all out.
I think there was a study, and obviously don't quote me on this because I don't have the evidence to back it up, but I feel like I've heard somewhere before that Gen Alpha is like dumber than previous generations. And I think the fact that having an iPad in front of them was a contributing factor onto why they were so sped. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I've heard that somewhere before, but I don't quote me on that because I don't really remember where I heard that from, but I feel like I've heard that before.
And that's the key. Gen Alpha, since they started using technology, were immediately in the crosshairs of big tech and other companies with the sole purpose of collecting user data and abusing the short attention spans of children for their own gain. Now, of course, much of this data collection is illegal under COPPA, but that didn't stop YouTube from doing it until like 5 years ago. Couple this with the fact that parenting is hard, the habit of parents throwing their kids in front of a tablet to make them shut up and stop being annoying has become commonplace.
Yeah, bro, you can't just like throw a tablet in front of a kid to make them shut up. Like, you're a parent, bro. You don't just like that's like a band-aid. That's like a band-aid over like a giant gash in your arm. You're just putting a band-aid over it, bro. Like, you have to like actually deal with the problem. I know sometimes, listen, Twitch, I'm not advocating for nothing, okay? But I'm just saying I came out okay. All right, Twitch? I came out okay. All right? I'm not gonna be as sped as these iPad kids, okay? That's all I'm gonna say.
Most adults, unknowing of the ramifications of this when it first started around 2010 to 2012, didn't really pay attention to it. As a personal anecdote, sometime last year I was eating.
I didn't say that, Drew. I never said that.
With family. Then this other big ass family comes and sit down next to us. Within 5 minutes, and I shit you not, literally 5 minutes,
Yep.
a child likely between the ages of 4 to 7 years old
Yep.
starts squirming around.
Yep.
And that squirming turns to complaining, which
Yep.
turns to borderline yelling and screaming.
Yeah, like no manners, like no respect, bro. Like, if I did this, see, this is the kind of shit where you're right, I said it. You're right, yeah. What Drew said, if you don't do what Drew said to a certain extent, to a child, this is the kind of shit you get. Like, you literally get, like, I would never do this in a restaurant, bro. Because if I did this shit in a restaurant, I know there's fucking consequences. I know there's consequences, bro. My dad, oh my god, it'd be over. I'd be dead. I wouldn't even be alive, bro. If I did this when I was like 4 to 7 at that age and we were in a restaurant and I was screaming, yelling, bro, it's over. I'm dead. I'm literally a dead boy. Okay? I would be buried. I'd be buried the next day. So this is why, like, sometimes shit like that works. I'm gonna say it. Shit like that works, okay?
This little asshole picks up a silverware napkin and weakly throws it across the table, prompting the dad who, instead of
oh yeah, if I did that, it's over, bro. A murder. It'd be a murder.
removing the child from the situation and punishing him in some way, just gives the, well, son, let's not be rude, okay, little buddy? The child continues being a little prick until finally, 20 minutes later, the mother just gives her kid the phone or tablet. I can't remember which one it was. And the table's quiet for the rest of the time we were there. This is just one example of the times I've watched most millennial parents use tablets.
I've had the exact situation happen to me, where like a kid's throwing a temper tantrum, and then, you know, the parent gives them an iPad or a phone, and then they just shut up for the rest of the time.
Their phones as a way to shut their kids up instead of, you know, correcting the behavior through punishment of some kind. I mean, look at me. I was a nightmare child. I used to headbutt people. But when I did, I didn't get tossed a tablet or a phone to watch life hack videos on YouTube. Again, this is not a blanket statement, and this usually applies to middle-class American millennials from my experience. But you may be thinking, so what? Parents need to shut their kids up every now and then. What's the big deal? Well, tragically, due to the popularization of abusing the impressionability of young minds, kids are often roped into weird places purposely to hook them on harmful or weird content that negatively affects them in the present and in the future in ways their parents...
What kind of video is this, bro?
Content.
Like, dude, I wonder if this is 204,000 views. That's a lot of views. Sonic want to get pregnant? Funny pregnancy situation. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 animation. 22 minutes! Disclaimer, parental guidance. Some material in this video may not be suitable for children below. There's no way a child is watching this. There's no way a child is watching this.
That negatively affects them in the present and in the future in ways their parents can't even begin to understand. Anyways, I'm sure many of you watching this video have witnessed these effects firsthand via the fiery fist of pain from your little cousin Joshua McWaldrip when his mom tells him to go play outside for once. Unfortunately for many people with children who are unaware of how shit the internet has gotten since its Wild West days in the 2000s, their kids can get thrust into some really weird places at shockingly young ages.
Huggy Wuggy's family has more members. Poppy Playtime animation compilation. 1.3 million views? There's no way. What? How is this getting more views than my content? There is no way. I guess this content's better. Maybe, chat. Maybe. Okay, you know what? I'm retiring. I'm retiring from streaming. I'm retiring from making like conventional gaming videos. I'm making Huggy Wuggy's family has more members. Next video on the channel, guys. Huggy Wuggy gets pregnant in bed. How to? I'm making the video, chat. I'm making that video.
We're talking between 3 to 6 years old. Let me ask you a question. Do you think a child born in 2020 should be allowed to watch this kind of content?
No.
I mean, look at this. It's not exactly overtly inappropriate, but kids at that age should be at least educationally nurtured in some way. And before some people say stuff like, well, what about SpongeBob? That show's pointless. Well, I mean, yeah, you're not entirely wrong.
That one always hurt me. Every single time I saw that episode, oh my god, that one always hurt me. But SpongeBob is a dub. I don't care. I don't care. SpongeBob is a dub.
Quality and ethics. SpongeBob isn't trying to capitalize on unknowing parents or impressionable kids for a quick buck. Essentially, at the very least, it's relatively harmless. Well, most of the show.
Oh my god.
These random
I can't
channels
believe
that are a part
they
of
actually
the
showed
less
that.
documented ElsaGate Wave 2 phenomenon are doing, to no one's surprise, everything they can to hook kids on this.
I remember that, the
content
ElsaGate.
to essentially keep them coming back for ad revenue. Look, let's be honest. How many of you lied about your age on almost every platform?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I'm gonna show my kid YouTube until they're like maybe like 8, 9. Because I feel like YouTube, there's nothing beneficial on YouTube. I honestly would rather have them grow up on cartoons. You know, like that's how I got into SpongeBob. That's how I got into Pokemon. That's how I got into like all those cool ass shit. Beyblade. On YouTube, they're just gonna watch some Huggy Wuggies playtime, bro. I'm not gonna let my kid watch that shit. I'd rather them watch Disney movies. I'd rather them watch cartoons. It ain't happening, bro. Bakugan, Ben 10. I'm putting them on, bro. I'm gonna put them on, okay? I'm not gonna have them watch Huggy Wuggy gets pregnant, bro. It ain't
Say
happening.
you're over 18 to avoid extra regulations? I'll bet most of you. So, while YouTube Kids might be useful for very young children, kids that are older than like 8 can very easily bypass this and just watch all of this depraved content, especially considering their parents have been throwing them in front of a tablet since birth. Looking through the YouTube Kids app, we can see a variety of mostly tame shows and a couple of good ones. And yeah, Bluey is honestly pretty decent, but the community sure as hell isn't. However, even on a heavily sanitized YouTube Kids, you can still find incredibly pointless and mind-numbing content for children. Like, why the actual hell does Talking Tom have his own damn cartoon?
Huh?
Like, this is unironically the type of shit I see parents putting in front of their kids in restaurants. It just serves absolutely no purpose other than to mindlessly entertain and numb their brain.
That's true. That's
Even though
true.
Elsa-
I mean, to be fair, yo, I gotta go. What time are you streaming to? I don't know. Probably a couple hours. To be fair, SpongeBob is like mind-numbing, and like most of those shows are mind-numbing. Some of them have messages behind them, like Ben 10. You know, be the hero. You know what I'm saying? Don't be selfish. You know what I'm saying? Like there are like innate messages within some of like the cartoons I grew up with. But SpongeBob, I would say mostly is mind-numbing. Yo, The Land Before Time was a dub though. I don't even know what that is, Drew. I don't even know what that is, bro. Sounds like a Gen Alpha show to me. I didn't grow up on that. I grew up on Adventure Time. I grew up on regular show, Ben 10, Pokemon, SpongeBob. That was my shit, bro.
Content isn't at its peak anymore. The fact that children are just rotting in front of this chiefly fast-paced, little dialogue, short attention span having content is really not good for their brains. But so I don't sound like I'm just making shit up, let's take a look at some of the results from a study conducted about early smartphone
Finally,
usage.
science. Let's go. Science
The report
rules.
acknowledges that there literally hasn't been enough time for this phenomenon to produce significant
That makes sense.
consequences to do a
Okay,
full
that
study.
makes sense.
An important question that has been asked is, if these activities become the predominant method to calm and distract young children, will they be able to develop their own internal mechanisms of self-regulation? Similarly, they also wonder of the social and emotional consequences of putting kids in front of tablets at an early age, interfering with their ability to have empathy, social,
I feel like, yeah. So they're not going to have any empathy. They're not going to have any awareness of social awkwardness. Not came out like in the 1980s. Oh, I've never heard of it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, bro.
and problem-solving skills that kids just naturally learn through play. Let's compare the YouTube Kids front pages to the type of stuff I used to watch as a kid.
Okay.
When I was growing up, there were a few
Cook,
main shows
cook,
I remember
cook.
watching a lot. The Backyardigans, Little Einsteins,
Yep.
SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents,
Yep.
Gumball, Blue's Clues, Oswald, with the
Uh-huh.
occasional Pingu, Kipper the Dog, Fireman Sam, Wonder Pats, and the Upside Down Show. Man, I actually was just...
I don't know. He listed off a bunch of like kiddie cartoons, and then he listed off Gumball. Gumball is obviously for kids, but there's some like innuendos and jokes in there. That's like a Cartoon Network show. That's like in the leagues like Ben 10, regular show, different Cartoon Network shows. He just literally listed off a bunch of like little kid shows and then Gumball. Little Einstein says a go. I agree. We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, zooming through the sky. Little Einstein, climb aboard, get ready to explore. There's so much to find. Little Einstein. I know the whole song, bro. I grew up on that shit, bro.
This list of Noggin shows, and I just remembered this one. That one was a deep dive into memory. Comment down below if you're an Upside Down show fan. Anyways, comparing it to the YouTube Kids homepage, it's drier than the Atacama, with literally like 1 or 2 relatively decent shows being available for kids to watch.
I will say, if I was a kid and I saw a Spider-Man show like this, I'm gonna be honest, damn, I'd be like, oh shit, Spider-Man show? Hell yeah, I'm in. Although compared to like Spectacular Spider-Man and all the other Spider-Man shows that came out when I was growing up, it's probably pretty shit. But Spider-Man? Oh hell yeah, bro.
The rest is, I'll leave it up to you if you think these videos are of any significant value. At the very least, shows like the Upside Down Show and even SpongeBob promote creativity and just being a kid above all else.
True,
rather
true.
than doing nothing but numbing them so mommy and daddy can go crazy style in the back of the house. No, dumbass, of course I mean doing taxes. Who the f do you think I am? Anyways, let's move on to some of the potential consequences this type of behavior can lead to and how its effects are already being felt by many today.
Future consequences. Let's go.
Although it's not exactly a well-studied topic, the effects of this constant iPad exposure have been reported by some people on YouTube who have audience members who have discussed their experiences with this kind of gross content on YouTube.
I am a first-hand experiencer of this phenomenon. They should have continued Lazy Town or some, bro. That show had the best moral messages. I agree. Lazy Town was lit and it had bangers, bro. It literally had bangers in that show.
This video on Elsagate, Turkey Tom read through a post on the r/Elsagate subreddit asking users if that form of content had any negative effects on them growing up. Here are some excerpts. Again, remember this is Reddit, people like to lie, so take some of these with a grain of salt.
Okay.
This user says, quote, gonna come out and say, well, I don't remember actually watching Elsagate at the time. I was in the age group, or maybe a bit above it. I think I was about 10, but still willing to watch these videos. And I do remember thinking poop was arousing. Looking back, I'm 99% sure it was Elsagate that put that idea in my head, though it's thankfully gone now.
What?
Shit, thank God.
Poop is arousing? Huh? Alright,
I'm not the only
we'll
one.
let it slide.
This user saying, quote, I've heard a lot of people claim that they watched Elsagate videos during their most popular years and now have either become desensitized to gore or even have certain...
Okay, you know, I will be say about the gore thing, I'm gonna be honest. But I mean, for me, it was like later on when I was like, you know, everybody finds it, bro. I'm not gonna say nothing, but everybody finds it, okay? When you're like 13, 14, 15, 12, around that age range, you know, and you got friends, you're gonna stumble on some videos. You're gonna stumble upon some videos. And, you know, playing Call of Duty didn't help. I'm not trying to say, like, I'm desensitized to gore, because I'm really not. Because if I'm sure if I actually saw something in front of me, like, oh, shit, like, that's kind of crazy. But, you know, you know, when you're in that preteen / beginning teenage range, you're gonna stumble upon some videos on the internet, okay? Everybody does. I did. All my friends did. We all did, okay, bro?
fetishes that were shown in the videos. Pregnancy, needles, piss, whatever. Jesus. The evidence is anecdotal at best, but I believe the people who share these stories. Let's take this with a grain of salt, but there is some potential merit to what's being said here. Often, as children, the things we are regularly exposed to most frequently become normal to us. On top of this, the effects of kids being constantly put in front of screens can potentially lead to dangerous scenarios down the road. Call this a slippery slope, and
like
it
the
sure
scat?
doesn't apply to everyone.
Ooh, you do be liking
but
the
I think
scat.
most people can universally agree, putting aside conditions such as autism, social interaction is a workout for someone's social abilities. It's a muscle that needs to be worked out.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. I also think like some adults suffer from this, and it's not really like an iPad thing. Well, I guess it is. It's like a technological issue. I feel like there's like a social awkwardness in the air, right? So I'm at work, right, and I'm at the register trying to help out a customer or whatever. People can't even look me in the eyes, bro. And I feel like that's just where I live kind of thing, because I've gone to different states because I have different family members in different states, and I'll go there, and if the vibe is totally different. It seems like I live in California, so this is probably why. I have family in New York. I have family in a whole bunch of other places in the United States, and well, I'm at work, right, and I'm just trying to help somebody with at the cash register, trying to take their money, give them their food, whatever it is. People can't even hold a conversation. They can't even look you in the eyes. They can't do nothing. I'll be like, did you have a to-go order? And they're like, yeah. Oh, can I get your phone number? What was your phone number for your order? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. And so I'm doing it. Like, okay, it's gonna be, $43.97. They're like, okay, here you go. Like they can't even look up. Like they can't even like look at your face, bro. Like they don't even acknowledge you. Like I don't know if that's like, and I'm pretty sure it's like a California thing. Because I'll go to other states where my other family members live, and they live, and like everywhere, like there's like a weight lifted off your shoulders. Like everybody's way nicer, more friendly, can actually hold a conversation. I don't know what it is about California, but these motherfuckers are pussies. Can't even fucking talk. Okay, can't even hold a basic conversation. It's really weird.
Putting a child in front of a screen all day seems like a surefire way to let that social muscle atrophy into proverbial bone. I wonder if any of you watching this can attest to this. Growing up constantly behind a screen becoming a comfortable place, so you can just play games a lot and only interact with people on Discord. I leave you all with this question. Why do you think most of the toxic road teens that prowl Discord act the way they do? Because the internet and Discord is their world, and to look beyond that is hard, so they stay focused on a world they're able to create and curate themselves, and it completely envelops their real lives. Anyways, I digress. I hope I didn't directly call any of you out, so let's end this tangent before I start rambling. Do you, the person watching this, believe that this kind of behavior could be an unfortunate future consequence for many kids who have been shoved in front of an iPad for hours at a time? Do you disagree with anything I've said or have a story of your own to tell? Seriously, let me know. I'm very curious to get some kind of anecdotal consensus behind this phenomenon.
Yes.
Either way, I hope you enjoyed this shorter video.
I did.
Fallen Fandoms Part 2 will be in production soon. It might not be the next video.
Dub ass video. I do think some of the iPad kid phenomenon is a generalization of different generations. Like previous generation hates on my generation hates on the next generation is gonna hate on the next generation, and that's kind of what it is. And I would probably say up to like the majority of Gen Alpha aren't iPad kids, but there are some, and those some are going to be really annoying when they grow up.